Welcome back, YouTubers. Ryan here with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me once again. Today we're going to look at the first beer from the beer mail I got from Chad9976 on YouTube, Chad's Beer Reviews. And he sent me a can of Heady Topper from the Alchemist Brewery out in Vermont. This is a beer that's getting a lot of hype on the beer forums lately, and we cannot get it out here on the West Coast, so he was kindly enough to send me a can to try. I have tried this before, but this will be my first whole can to myself, so let's get this thing cracked open. And yes, it does say on the can to drink from the can, but we're going to pour some out here for reviewing purposes. Not a lot though. Why? Well, part of the reason why they kind of justify in the back is they want the aromas to stay in the can, and that it's an unfiltered, unpasteurized beer. But no problem with me. I'm a home brewer. I'm used to all hop particles and yeast and all that fun stuff, because it does pour a very, very hazy orange color. Let me see if I can swirl up a bit of a head. If I poured it more aggressively, it would have probably got more head, but it's just bright white. Let's get the nose on it. Oh, it smells fantastic. It definitely reminds me quite a bit of Pliny the Elder. You get some pininess underneath, but up front there's a big sweet orange citrus note, a little bit of like bitter grapefruit, bit of a floral note, touch of like a grassiness kind of underneath. So it's got a very sort of East Coast, West Coast kind of mix going on in the hop profile. It does remind me somewhat of Pliny the Elder, as I mentioned, but let's give it a try. Cheers. Yeah, that's really nice. Good lingering bitterness on there. It's not real intense on the bitterness up front. It kind of, like a lot of IPAs, will kind of blast you right up front with the bitterness. This one kind of creeps up on you a little bit, and then it kind of hits you more like midway through, and then has a lingering character. I think the first thing I notice is like a sweeter hop note. Some sweeter orange notes, maybe come from like an Amarillo or like a citra hop variety, combined with some kind of like a floral note. Some sweeter sort of malt characteristics, big bready, like sweet breadiness. Touch of caramel malt, probably not a whole lot based on the color on this one. Nice kind of creaminess too. So after this kind of ramping up of actually some sweetness, it then kind of gets to the bitterness, which kind of has this big lingering, big pine notes, almost fresh cut pine. A little bit of like that earthy kind of resiny character that maybe gets something from like a Columbus, maybe even in a Simcoe, something like that. So I mean, to me it has this, it drinks a little different than Pliny, but it has a very similar kind of profile, and the malt build's kind of very similar. It's definitely a more hop forward double IPA. If you get Pliny really fresh, it has a good bitterness. I just had it really fresh, 2-day-old from the keg and 4-day-old bottle. And so it's great to try this real close to after this, see how they compare. They drink a little different, but very similar profile. So I can see how this might be sort of like referred to as the Pliny of the East Coast. That does make sense to me. Definitely an A beer, but let's try it out of the can first, see if we get any difference really. Not dramatically different. To me, it drinks a little sweeter out of the can. I get more sweeter orange notes and a little more like bitter grapefruit character. But either way, I think you can't go wrong. It's a great beer. Recommend trading for it if you can't get it and want to try it. I believe it's only available in Vermont right now. But support the brewery. They had that flood, but they're still making Heady Topper, which I believe is the only beer they actually can. And I'm glad it comes in a 16-ounce pint can, so that's awesome. So, A for Heady Topper. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. And thanks to Chad for the beer. Cheers.